POV. I ask A to talk about a U.S. law that forced citizens, even in free states, to help capture escaped enslaved Africans without bias.
Alright, African Echo, I won't lie to you and I will be as honest as possible. There was a time in American history when even those who hated slavery were legally forced to support it. It was the year 1850 and the United States was boiling with tension. The North was growing more resistant to slavery while the South demanded more protection for what they called their way of life. To ease this divide, the U.S. Congress passed the Fugitive Slave Act, a law so cruel and controversial that it felt like a noose tightening around every enslaved African who ever dreamed of freedom. But this law didn't just target the South. No, it reached deep into the so-called free states in the North. If an enslaved African escaped from a southern plantation and managed to flee to a state like Pennsylvania or Ohio, they weren't safe, not anymore. Under this new law, every American citizen, even those who despised slavery, was now required by law to assist in the capture and return of the escapee. Yes, even if you're just a shopkeeper, a school teacher or a preacher. If you refused, you could be fined $1,000, an enormous sum at the time, or even go to jail. And worse, black people, free or not, could be falsely identified as runaways and dragged back to the South with no trial, no defense, no family goodbye. Slave catchers roamed the streets of northern cities, often backed by federal marshals, snatching people in broad daylight. Fear ran through black communities. Free papers meant nothing now. Mothers clutched their children tighter, men hid in basements or fled even further north, into Canada. It wasn't just a law, it was a hunt that sparked fury. Many Northerners who were on the fence about slavery suddenly took a stand. The Underground Railroad became more active. Safe houses popped up in secret. Resistance grew, loud and dangerous. Some Americans chose to break the law rather than betray their conscience. Others, they turned their heads or helped the captors out of fear or hate. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 showed the world that in America, freedom was not just denied, it was criminalized. And now let me ask you, what would you have done if you lived during that time? Would you risk jail to protect a stranger? Or would you obey a law that went against everything human? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because history like this should never be forgotten. Crap.